Okay, we're getting to the end of it here. Just wrapping it up, and occasionally the body will get twisted. You just got to take those twists out as you work your way down. We're on our last couple of tail ends of our flemish. Now again, I'm turning that clockwise, and the individual bundles clockwise, and the groups are going counterclockwise. It's kind of like an old cable that you'll see on some power lines, with the way they tie them down and they anchor the poles down. Okay. Alright, so we're done with this second loop. Now what I'll do is I'll make sure my strands are straight, come down to the other end. I'll grab my flemish, the end of my flemish, and again, kind of make sure to come over here where I can see. I'll put my fingers in there and kind of run it down. And I'll hold both ends, and then I'll line them up and pop them. Now what I'm doing here is I'm evening out any inconsistencies, so it's not like a bump in any one location. Check my ends, make sure they're good. For my rotations of my flemish. Check the other end, make sure it's good and even. The ends of my flemish. And then, when I get done, if we look at the section of bowstring, the strands should be relatively straight. You can see that if I push that together, these strands will come apart really easily. They're not ropes wrapped around each other. And that's the purpose of doing counter twists. It's important that these strands in the body of your string are not 3 ropes wrapped around each other, or in a 2-ply string 2 ropes wrapped around each other. If these strands aren't running straight, you're increasing torsional resistance in the bow, or in the bowstring. It's not necessarily. The more you twist it up, you can twist a rubber band up and not even put a working load on it. You keep twisting it enough, it eventually will snap. So I want my strands straight when I get done making my flemish. That way, when I twist up my bowstring, just a few times, we can grab a section, untwist a section, and again my strands are running straight. Twist it back up, okay, and that will lay together like one bundle, one rope, one unit, instead of 3 units wrapped around each other. So we're done with the board. I'm going to grab a bow. This is a 62-inch protege longbow. This is a little scrapper. Slide that top loop on, put the bottom loop on. We'll just string her up. Okay, brace height should be a little high. It's a brand new string, and that's going to settle in. Now, one of the things that I found beneficial is I'll get an old rag. Let me get a clean section so you can see how much crud is on this string. Come in a little closer. And I'll lay that rag on that flemish and rub that. Come down, and you'll look at all that crud that come off that bowstring. That's what's getting on my fingers. Now just doing this right here will actually get a lot of the stretch out of a bowstring, of a new bowstring. And it's going to clean it up where it looks a lot better. We'll get another clean section. Okay. Good enough? I'll come back and look at it on the bow. Come down here. And you'll see it looks, maybe you can see, maybe you can't. It looks a lot better. Okay? We'll check the brace height now, and if I did my job right, it should be about 7 1/4, 7 inches, something like that. Here we're 7 1/8, so that's perfect. Alright, for a 9-strand string, something that's been shared that will help get a good knock fit is to take a piece of masking tape and lay it in there about where your knocking point is going to go. I need to come up just a little bit. Now I'll lay that tape on there to get it started, but I'm not going to roll it up yet. I found that if I take 2 pieces of .021 serving, 21 size serving, and lay 2 strands in there, I'll lay one in there immediately. I'll do a half a wrap, and then I'll lay one more. I have found that when I do this, and I haven't always done this, but when I do this, I get about a perfect knock fit on most knocks. This is for a 9-strand string. For a 12-strand string, I wouldn't add those extra pieces of serving in there, and I might use a thinner piece of tape as well. All right, now to start my serving, I'll overhand it, come across it, and through the loop, through this, just do an overhand knot. Come about a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch above my tape. Pull that up. I'll wrap that around my finger a couple of times. Okay, and I'll start off doing a couple of little easy turns here to get it started. Now once it gets started, I'm actually going to wrap this with the twists of the bowstrings a couple of times. Then I'm going to cinch it up tight, and I'm going to serve down until I get to my tape. Okay, now I'm at my tape, and I'll cut this piece off. And then we'll just serve the bowstring. You can do it like that, or if you want to be fancy, or quick, do it like that. Okay, now we're going to tie off the end. Sometimes people will use an extra loop to pull it through. I don't like to do this, but I don't like to do that. Instead, what I just do is I come down here and I'll wrap about 15 to 20 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's plenty. 19. Alright, push it up, and 20. I'll put my finger on that end and then pull it up underneath this first piece. And then I'll wrap over that, unwrapping here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm using my thumb to hold that down as I go. But I'm doing my thumb kind of quick so it doesn't come off. On my left hand, I'm using my thumb to hold it down. Okay, now I'm going to take that, it's going to be kind of hard to see with the camera, and I'll hold that up against the string. this piece here. Grab that. Now I do not pull it with my teeth, but I will hold this with my teeth, and I'll grab that and pull it with my hand. Like that. I'll pull it snug. No need in trying to cut your finger off, pulling it that hard, but you definitely want to pull it snug and just cut off the end. And if you did your job right, it'll be hard to see where the end is. Now, some people say that the serving has to be done a certain way for right-handed or left-handed. Not true. You want to serve the same way your string is twisted. Now, the reason that is not true, watch what happens if with these twists in this string. If I roll my hand, they say when you draw the bow you roll your hand. That's true, you do. But if I roll this excessively, just on purpose, look at my center hand. I'm rolling this and just twisting this up the same way. If I do that, this side's gotten much, much tighter, but this side's gotten much looser. No matter if you're right-handed or left-handed, one side's going to twist tighter, one side's going to twist looser every time you draw the bow. It's negligible. You're talking about maybe 1 or 2 turns at most. Isn't going to matter. What does matter, though, is that your serving is twisted the same way as your bowstring, so that way, as you adjust your brace height and your string gets old and you add twist to the bow, you're not untwisting the serving in the center. Now, I do not advise people use the push-pull method. People will see me do it. I understand the risks. The danger of doing the push-pull method is some people will slip their hand off and boom, come back and hit themselves in the face. It is dangerous, but understanding the risks of that, again, I just can't advise other people to do that. But it is the most convenient method if you know how to do it. Alright, well, that's the video. You can use any kind of silencers that you want. I tend to use yarn. It works really well. Thanks for watching Protege Longbows. Have a nice day.